If you are a high achieving woman, if you are a newer online business owner and you have been through all of the shit, if you've been through all the struggles, if you have been on this path for a while, I'm at the 2 year mark, actually a little over if I'm really being honest. This is not a video filled with solutions. This is a video to feel seen. And my hope is that by putting this out here, because yet I have not published, I am just recording this, that I am witnessing myself and I am, if I'm brave enough to post it, I am letting you be seen. So let me get into this. There is so much advice. There are so many things that you will get that I have been flooded with that I know is everybody's experience. It's how the algorithm works. It's how we want it to work when we get our business out there in some ways. And it has been, in many ways, exhilarating and highly, highly creative and so much fun in so many ways. I am a collaborator with others, so I've missed that part. And honestly, because of AI and the different chat bots out there, I've been able to have fun collaborating because I'm not just talking into the air, I'm talking with a tool that has the ability to have that repartee, if you will. And I don't even know where I'd be if there weren't those tools. I wouldn't have been able to produce as much as I have. But what I wanted to share about is the frustration, the challenge, the pain, the disappointment, the doubt that can happen when you're on this journey. And I know as part of every entrepreneur's journey, I've heard Alex Hormozy talk about it. I've heard these people talk about it. And I know many people who have successful businesses have been at it for a long time. And I know that it's very intoxicating and challenging to watch other people like have these hits so quickly and to not be distracted by all of the creators out there that are trying to sell you with clickbait on how they can help you get, like YouTube, 0 to 1,000 subscribers in 30 days or a week or whatever, all the crazy claims that are out there. It's so difficult to not fall prey to that. It's so difficult to not want to try those things. I have a successful background in a career doing multiple types of roles, often in strategy and business, not in the online space and not just for myself and with myself. And all of that has been real. I walked into it with that eyes wide open. I'm also somebody that likes to try a lot of things. I'm definitely multi-passionate. I know I've lost some time, if you will, or I know that one of my challenges is being distracted, not necessarily by shiny objects, but by the iteration and the creative process. I know that I've been challenged with the perfectionism. I don't really relate to it like that, but it's about like the quality of work. When you're used to creating really quality work because that's what you've been doing for over 20 years, it's almost antithetical to all of a sudden like find what is your B- version, or what is the version that you can just go with. And a lot of those who are successful have found that, have done that. I don't think they're often Gen Xers or even millennials. I think they're mostly the younger, more scrappy people that don't have a lot of conditioning on them. So that's real. And the other thing that I think is the most important piece really is when you come into it, I'm not saying everybody feels this way, but when you come into it and you know what your gifts are, you know what your skills are, you know what you're badass with, you know what you've been successful doing, you know what you should be being paid top dollar for. And then you enter into this space and it will strip you away of a lot of that, because the tools that we're using to connect and define your customer, in this case my customer, is filled with all the distractions, right? And then there's a lot of marketing advice on that's not clear enough, that's too vague, what do you actually do? Not another coach saying this. Like, there's so much coming at us telling us what we're not doing well, and of course if it's not working, you can't disagree. And then it can get seductive to try to maybe do something different to just create some income. And honestly, I have not been able to do that. I don't think it's stubbornness. I just think it's clarity. I just cannot, and I've just never been that person. I think that idea that like the hard worker gets it, I've retired that idea because I think I lived my whole life, not necessarily thinking that consciously, but definitely for a long time my career came from the fact that I was the last woman standing often. And I say that proudly more because it was happening more when I was younger. As I got older, I learned how to use my time differently, and I was more leading others and supporting others and developing others. But I've been hands on my entire career, and I love that. I like to learn. I like to learn. I also feel really passionate about anyone that I would want to have on my team, that I understand what I've asked them to do and that I'm willing to do it, that I'm never asking people really, unless they have a special skill, which a lot of people do. I would never want to ask people to do pieces of my business that I haven't done myself. I think that's really important. And I have felt that in every role I've been in professionally as well. I would say that there has definitely been lost time. Maybe it's not lost time, but I'll say that just for the sake of making the point. In the distraction of that, of like naming your ideal customer avatar and knowing how she talks about it. And also, I can't use myself as a barometer, not just because that's not really the way to do it, meaning you need to know how different people talk about it. I just know that in some ways, I'm a little bit of an anomaly. I have been on my path of personal growth, of spiritual focus and orientation since my earlier path was really as a teenager, but my spiritual path began in my late 20s, really deliberately. I do have some friends and community, but that's not necessarily who I think I'm here to serve. My point is like, there aren't a lot of people I know that are built like me. I think there's more younger people coming like this, but not in my age group and not my generation as much. Like I have a hard time articulating what I do. Part of that is because I'm maybe a little bit resistant to the word coach, but I'm also challenged with it because I feel like what I say I am and what I do often gets told that it's too vague, or it's like too woo, or it's all those things. So learning how to package what you do and market it is a very real challenge, especially if you so want to stay true to yourself. And there are some people out there, I've actually met a few, they're definitely in a younger generation, that are totally rocking it, doing their most authentic self. And that's the exception. But if you have felt disillusioned because you've been on this journey and you've been given it so much and you've been on a similar journey that I've described to you, I just want you to know that I feel you. And I will definitely share my learnings as they go because I'm not giving up. I'm really clear on that. And I'm also allowing myself to feel it. Like I was definitely letting some tears be released earlier today. They allow me to release the emotion, the feelings, the pain or the disappointment, or just the grief. I lost my mom almost 2 years ago now, but it's just, there's a lot. Caring for my father, we all have a story, right? There's feelings and emotions in that. I realized that like when I went to bed last night, I was at my computer for 14 hours yesterday. And when I wrote that down, because I'm starting to track that, I wasn't proud of that. I didn't feel good about that. I think that actually maybe tipped this off. I just wanted to acknowledge that it's challenging. It really is. It can be very challenging. And I actually believe that if you are doing something that you really care about, you will find a way. You will find a way. And I would offer that most people that are successful, they just didn't give up. So if I post this, I hope that it served you in some way. I'm not somebody who likes to air my deeper pains and grievances, but I do want to be of service and I do want to get beyond this. And maybe this will be an opportunity for me to like let go of it because I voiced it and shared it. My name is Jennifer Herrera and I appreciate you so much. Until next time.